Brian Daboll officially in as the Bama OC. What does it mean? What does it mean in terms of Alabama football moving forward? Does it mean a trajectory into the future? Does it mean back to the future, James, in terms of, the old, what is it, McFly? Michael, what was his name?
Marty.
No, but I'm talking about Michael J. Fox.
Yes,
Marty
yes.
McFly. The back to the future. Does Brian Daboll mean back to the future for Alabama? I looked at – you just try to find cues to see what is Saban thinking, because many people thought, okay, he's going back to Brian Daboll. Does that mean he's going back to a pro style of offense? Is that what he's trying to do? Is he trying to get back to that run-heavy, run-first, power running game, or is he bringing some variation of it? And I would say some variation of that, because the first – you look at who is he recruited. I look at it and I go, okay, he has Jalen Hurts on campus, and then he has Tua Tagovailoa on campus, and then he has Mac Jones on campus. Two of the three guys are dual threat guys. One guy is a pro style guy, Mac Jones, who's going to compete. The kid seems to have what you look for. It kind of reminds you of that A.J. McCarron mindset and attitude. Going to be wearing number 10, as a matter of fact. But look at who Alabama has offered in the 2018 class. Before this weekend, before Brian Daboll was hired, they had offered 7 quarterbacks in the 2018 class. All 7 are committed somewhere else. So when you see that they hire Brian Daboll on it was official yesterday, but it happened last week. The first offer that they give out is to a kid named Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he plays with Bishop Garman High School. And guess what position he's been playing the last few years? He's coming up as a senior. He's the number 4 quarterback, James, and he was the starting wide receiver for Bishop Gorman, who's won like 100 games in a row. I think they won like 50-something games in a row. They're out of Las Vegas. This is where a lot of guys out in that part of the country, they're not like an academy like IMG, but for the West Coast guys, I think that's kind of the school. The Tate Martell just signed with Ohio State as their dual threat quarterback, has been the starter. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is going to be the starting quarterback in 2018. He's the number 4 dual threat quarterback, and the only time he's played quarterback in the recent years, and since he's been in high school, was when they were blowing teams out, which was every game, by the way, just about. But he's not been a starter, and he's still ranked number 4 as a dual threat quarterback. And this is the first guy who gets an offer from Alabama after they've hired Brian Daboll. And he said, in his words, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback from Bishop Gorman, said that Saban offered him the scholarship. So that tells me Saban is not totally abandoning the dual threat philosophy, which kind of, I'm not surprised by it, but I don't think it'll be the lead. I think he's looking for an athletic quarterback to play some of this multiple scheme that Brian Daboll is going to bring to the table. So when you look at Brian Daboll, the guy he was an OC in the pros with Cleveland for 2 years, and they ranked, I think, as low as in the 30s, maybe the worst team one year, which that's no surprise, and then in the mid-20s. And then he did the same thing with the Dolphins for 1 year with the Dolphins, and then 1 year with the Chiefs. Now, when you look at that, that sounds really bad because he was in the mid-20s is the highest he got. I think he got as high as 22 in terms of his team's offensive rank. But he did something at a couple places that hadn't been done. The Dolphins, I think, for example, one of the places where he had a 1,000-yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver, which that sounds good for Alabama fans because we want to see some balance. We don't want to be too run heavy, but we want to lead with the run, but we also want to be able to pass the ball. He was able to develop some decent quarterback play. And even though he's not been a coordinator at New England, they said that he had major input in the running game. And you think when the Patriots were committed to running the ball, they ran the ball. When the Patriots were committed to passing the ball, they were as effective as passing the ball. So there's a couple things you look at that would possibly get you excited. And that's why I asked the poll question, which offensive position benefits the most from the new OC hire of Brian Daboll? Is it the running back position? Is it the quarterback position? Is it the wide receiver position? Is it the tight end position? And if you want to write in comments and say even the fullback, then you can do that. And why do I bring up the fullback? It's not just because I play the position. That's not the only reason. Because last week, Alabama picked up a walk-on commitment, preferred walk-on from a kid named Michael Parrott. A parrot, I'm not sure. We're trying to reach out to him and get him on. You know, if I get any high school player on my show that's a commitment from Alabama, it's going to be the fullback, of course. But Michael Parrott of Waynesville, North Carolina, Pisgah High School, 5'11", 240-pound bruiser of a back, is excited. He says, I'm on cloud 9. Dreams really come true, and I'm blessed to have been presented with this opportunity by the Alabama coaching staff. I'm more than grateful to be one of the few who get to join such an elite program. It's such a blessing. Hard work really pays off. And the guy has to be really good, James, because he wears number 35. I mean, what else can you look for? A 5'11", which means he's probably 5'10". Because at one point in high school, I was 6'2", by the way, James. 5'11", 240 is what he's measuring. All of his pictures, though, this is what you got to love. All of his pictures, every picture I saw of him, because I went back and reached out to him over the weekend, every one of his pictures is him running the ball. I mean, because that's what we do as fullbacks. We're runners that we just get stuck with blocking. Go ahead.
Is there anything as far as a tie with Cherokee County in there to kind of complete the circle?
Well, I mean, I wore 35 in high school. That's about my weight and height. I was officially 5'10", about 235. My senior year, I was 228. But the guy looks like he'd be a really good addition to Alabama. And to me, you can read something into that Alabama goes out and offers this kid as a preferred walk-on because Ryan Fowler and I, during our lunch last week, were talking about who's going to play fullback? Will he move one of the big running backs? Will he be able to move one of the guys? Because we have guys big enough to play fullback. I don't think they have the mentality of a fullback. And we'll see if this young man does and try to get him on and talk to him about this opportunity. But the fact that Alabama offers a fullback at the beginning of the week when all the conversation was about Brian Daboll coming, and we know that he's utilized a fullback, not just an H-back tight end type. He's actually had a fullback in his offense when he was a coordinator. That bodes well for the fullback position. But even with that, I still don't think fullback is the position that's going to benefit the most from Brian Daboll being the OC. Right now, in terms of what positions, wide receivers at 8%, tight ends at 27%, quarterbacks at 29%, 36% for running backs. That's the order right now of which position, offensive position, benefits the most from the new OC. I don't necessarily agree with that order. I do believe one of those positions will benefit the most, and I'll tell you why and which position coming back on the other side. I'd like to get your thoughts and comments on which position you think is going to benefit the most. Will it be the running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, or tight ends will benefit the most from Brian Daboll being offensive coordinator?